Dear brothers and sisters, we have recently been alerted to the unearthing and closure of the largest known child exploitation site on the dark web. This site, going by the name Welcome to Video, used Korean servers to sell the 8 terabytes of child pornography that they had accumulated. A United States government report from the Department of Justice was the first publication of this information, and much of the data it provides is echoed by an EN Gadget article that brought our attention to the issue. These sources explain that 338 people have been arrested worldwide. Some have even undergone criminal trials and are being sentenced as of right now as a result of the large-scale arrests. The criminals were discovered through leaks in the Bitcoin chain which was used for payment. IRS agents were able to track each unique Bitcoin address to general server locations. Once the search area was shrunk, they were able to find the site's administrator and the final location of the server in South Korea. The method of search used to find this information has been kept hidden from the public in attempts to halt any preventative measures criminals may employ to render it obsolete. This sophisticated but classified new way of detecting criminals on the dark web may end up being a step forward in policing an otherwise incredibly hard to police area of the web. If it can prove that it is efficient and precise, government agencies may be able to get ahead of many of the criminals that until now have always had the upper hand. However, as of today, these arrests and closures will not have a prolonged effect on the dark web criminals. That is, besides the ones who have been physically arrested. It is likely that the remaining criminals will disperse and then recongregate later on. Similarly, because of the perceived anonymity that the dark web affords people, it is much harder to strike fear into them and deter criminal actions. It is an unfortunate reality that people will always prey on the weakest members of society and exploit them. It is reported that 18.4 million cases of child sexual abuse occurred on the internet last year. From these cases, approximately 45 million photos and videos were distributed. These totals keep rising as more individuals gain access to the dark web and internet as a whole. Despite society despising these kinds of criminals, they are able to congregate anonymously without fear. Without new technology to root out these individuals, we will have to rely on each criminal being caught individually. This can be done accidentally by stumbling upon files on an individual's computer due to the fact that many exploiters keep large quantities of files on them. Similarly, while the amount of vigilantism on the internet has declined since Anonymous split, many people have joined forces with law enforcement agencies to set honeypots and traps for pedophiles. Many of these involve talking to a pedophile while under the persona of a minor and baiting them into slipping up or meeting the agent in public. Once apprehended, they are humiliated by the people who catch them and, if done in tandem with the necessary authorities, arrested. Good ways to begin to cull the growing child exploitation rates on the dark web involve increasing training for the police and increasing funding. Across the globe, people find themselves without the necessary training to combat cyber threats. This is even more apparent when the dark web is involved. Increasing training of police would negate the need for this and would increase the efficiency of catching these offenders. While funding used to be an issue, many governments have seen the severity of the issue and have been pledging more and more money. A good example of this is the £50 million resource boost in England to the already strong $1.9 billion budget. More funding is still needed. As criminals find new ways to evade justice, the criminal justice system needs the resources to evolve and ensure that the security personnel and security systems are able to prevent further crimes and catch the perpetrators. The general public must also be able to recognize signs of pedophilia and other cybercrime in order to better help them prevent it escalate. Fighting cybercrime, especially cybercrime targeted at children, is a team effort. National governments need to collaborate with other national governments as well as their own citizens to root it out. Communities must alert families and children of the danger they face. Together, this kind of act can be tackled.
G'day to the marker of this assignment, or the markers. I'm really sorry that it came out as really dark. It's like edgy. I really didn't envision it to be this dark and kind of creepy, but by the time I'd finished recording and by the time I'd finished my script, yeah, this is just the way it turned out. So I hope it's to your liking.